Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to make sure you know all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on all new episodes of Wade's World, Boob Windows and Long Boxes, our Hard R movie reviews, and so much more, all completely uncensored. Access starts for as little as $1 a month, full videos when you pledge $3 a month. Check us out at the link in all of our show notes, or just go straight to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Parrish, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
I'm Kelly Thompson, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics.
Show off.
What? Like you've never talked to Kelly Thompson. Oh, hey, she just got into, I don't know, I think there's Deadpool series or something. But, anyway, welcome back to your Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil, joining me as always, that multi-dimensional mustache from New Jersey. It is
Charlie, the Professor Essa. Does my mustache make me look like a stranger?
And straight from her appearance on a Florida highway, jacking up the car, it is.
Hey y'all, it's a little Hellfire. Now, if only the armadillos could learn to change a tire, I'll be all set.
Dog.
I just always assumed you rode them.
Oh, ew.
Like
That's animal abuse. I don't condone that.
Oh, look, her mug says boss. Does it say bitch on the other side?
Yeah, I don't know, man. When Aquaman does it with the dolphins,
It's abuse.
Whoa.
Aquaman's an abuser. Hashtag prove me wrong.
Aquaman doesn't.
no, it's true.
Okay.
So what you got on
They
the
just
agenda?
love their king.
Well, I know Charlie Esser was chomping at the bit for this, but I made him wait for you. We got our Titania for the She-Hulk series.
The Good Places. Jameela. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
she
I
is.
know certain people won't be happy, but what you gonna do? I'm happy.
Look, there's only so many people who are tall enough to play Titania. There are only so many people who could be. Here's what I'm going to say. This is an actress who could stand next to a CGI She-Hulk and not be intimidated by her. She is like 7 feet tall. She is an amazing actress, great talent, and could not. And I am really excited to see what they do with her. An interesting thing. So they're making Titania in this one a social media influencer, which is a little off-brand for Skeeter McFerrin. I'm going to be honest,
But you gotta stay current. And what's more current than a social media manager?
well, what I'll tell you is, and I had forgotten this until Phil kindly shared us Titania's origin the other day. Titania designed her own costume, and that. Look, I'm going to tell you this. In the 80s, that would have been seen as cool. Her costume at the time. But it makes me wonder, are we going to get a fashion show with her?
And where's Patsy gonna show up in it?
No. Social media influencer. She's going to put every costume online and be like, have her followers vote on which one she should wear.
Oh,
Well,
Lord.
is she out with her powers? I don't know.
I
mean, this could be an interesting thing because there is the rumor we're also going to get Jessica Jones in this. That's the rumor. That's not confirmed. Don't say that's confirmed. It's not. But they're saying, yes, Jessica Jones is in this. Kristen Ritter is in this as Jessica Jones, which opens up the door to Patsy, which opens up the door to a lot of things. So I don't know, man.
All the girls should get together. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I just find it interesting that this actress is cast as Tatiana. I mean, we've already had a Crusher Crow, and that would be like really interesting if they bring that Crusher Crow back too. Though he was like a short Crusher Crow. That was the only weird thing about him. He was not like the towering Chris Helmsworthian Crusher Creel. He looked more like a puck,
Wait, where did we get him at?
He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Is that in canon still with the 616?
Is anything canon, Phil?
I don't know.
Nothing is canon and everything's canon.
Well, we'll see after Loki's done.
Yeah. It's Schrodinger's Loki is what it is.
Was that Sharon in the background, by the way? I didn't get to catch all of it in the time travelers.
Well,
getting
I
arrested.
don't. Let's say this: as far as we know, it wasn't Haley Atwell.
Oh, look who wants to fuck Loki.
So yeah, and
No,
honestly,
those are just spoilers on Twitter. Don't get happy. I don't like Tom Hiddleston.
okay, sure
Oh
you
my.
don't.
Oh my. There's no Namor.
I'm like old school Tumblr, so I'm burnt out on Tom Hiddleston. So
Okay, that's fine, honey. It's okay.
Oh my.
I'll take your word for it. But no, so that was the rumor, is that there was a woman in what looked like a blue jumpsuit with kind of 1940s hair. Is that Sharon is that
Peggy.
Peggy Carter? Wow, yeah, got my Marvel universes confused. Is that Peggy Carter? And like I said, as far as I know, it wasn't played by Haley Atwell. That doesn't mean it wasn't.
She's
played
on
by
the outs with them at the moment, so that doesn't really mean anything.
She is? Oh, well.
Whoops. I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. Me and Haley Atwell don't hang out as much as you and you do. So, I'll take your word for it. She's working her job. It's like everybody who's had a job with Marvel and is kind of not currently
in that limbo space. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the limbo. It's like, Israel say, if they give them a job, all is forgiven.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm certain that if someone said, it's just a cameo, but would you want to come in and do a cameo? But we're not going to credit you for the cameo because we want it to be it's an Easter egg. Could you do it? And I'm just like, yeah, I could take a day off and do that. That's fine. Because it gets her foot back in the door. And I'm sure same thing with, as much as he loves doing evil, I'm sure the gentleman would love to come back if they said, we just need a guy in the background to look like Luke Cage, and would like it if you were the guy who looked like Luke Cage. If it's not a big thing out of their day, it doesn't hurt them nothing. It keeps everyone happy, and they earn probably a good bit of change for it, for doing a cameo. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's listed in the credits in a weird way, or if it's an uncredited role. Ooh. But to me, that scene just implies to me that when
Steve got in trouble.
Of course he got in trouble. He got in trouble with the whole thing, and those timekeepers came to get them, and they just kicked their butts as they do.
Yes,
because it's freaking Captain America and Peggy Carter, and probably Bucky at this point, because that was the thing. Oh, hey, we should go get Bucky. He's over in Russia. You want to go spring him? And they're like, yes, that sounds like fun.
So the TVA had no problem with Steve going back in time and being with Peggy? Because at
a certain point, there's only so much you can do with Steve. I'm saying they probably did have a problem with him going back in time, and probably they had to send wave after wave of troops against them until they finally got Peggy out of there. And that was like the only one they could.
All kinds of Legends of Tomorrow vibes in a good way.
I know, and it's like the only one they were able. And that's what I'll say is that was the only one they were able to get. And now Steve and Bucky are going to spend the next 2,000 years trying to break that Peggy out of TVA custody.
Chris Evans can get it,
and that's how he wound up old at the end of it, because he's like, "Oh boy, that was an adventure.
That was exhausting."
And that's why he doesn't think he's going to talk about that.
You might not have to worry about.
It'll spoil Loki if I tell you about that.
You might not have to worry about Tom Hiddleston, because if Charlie Esser's theory comes to pass, I think we're getting
Loki,
female Loki, maybe.
It's not my theory. It's
I kind of want the lady that played Hela to be female Loki. Then, if we can swing that.
No, there's a female actress who is. I don't know her name, but it's a female actress. She's blonde, and she's been in the trailers talking to Loki. They haven't named her role yet, and people think that the hooded character that we now know, if you watch the show, spoilers for the show, that is the Loki that has escaped, and that people believe is that actress in a hooded robe.
Yeah.
Set fire to the place.
So they say, like, yeah, you got to go hunt down this another version of yourself, but they just show a hooded figure. They don't show you a face or anything. So
You know, Marvel's got the streets talking again. Good for them. Not
Well,
interested. Call me when Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2 comes around.
Yeah, they're going to get to it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Everybody's coming. Nobody's going away. Everybody's coming back. You know, that's the truth of it. You know, and now DC saying we can make Warner's is saying HBO Max is saying we can make DC superhero TV shows too, which they have been. So I don't know why they had to announce it, but
well, it hasn't actually been officially under the HBO Max umbrella. They all started somewhere else. So that's specifically what they're talking about, like the actual, like from start to finish HBO Max actual like superhero DC TV show within the main canon.
That would be lovely. Will they have a main canon now?
For better or for worse, Berlanti is that main canon and the multiverse at this moment. So, you know.
I don't mind Berlanti so much.
But I want something more mature and not formulaic. So I'll be glad when we get rid of the Berlanti universe. I'm over it. I'm over it.
The sky's the limit on HBO Max. So we're going to give you Peacemaker.
I don't want Damon Lindelof doing anything else. Let's get some fresh new blood. That's all that I'm saying.
Hey, you're getting
all that I'm asking. Somebody get Jonah Nolan on the phone. He will create you a matter of fact, somebody get me Jonah Nolan's agent's number. I'm gonna get this done my damn self.
Oh my.
I gotta wonder, is that listed somewhere, like who everyone's agent is?
Somewhere in a database that's semi-easy to access.
No, because yeah, David F. Walker recently, he was trying to get in contact with the director of, was it Shaft? But a director of one of the films that, he, of course, everyone loves, and from that blaxploitation
Walker on the phone.
And I was thinking, man, so IMDb used to have a thing where you could contact their agent,
IMDb Pro, you do actually have that option.
Yeah, if you pay for it. Yeah, I think.
It's only like $120 a year.
Yeah. Well,
you can write it off on your taxes depending on who you are.
Well, that is true.
Seriously.
No, she's correct. You could do that. Yeah.
I'm sure Rob probably can.
I was going to say, who would do that?
Why did your eye drift over to my box?
Yes. Well, I mean, not for nothing. Rob is actually a professional. I mean, this is what he does. Yeah. Well, no, I mean this Southgate Media Group. That's a thing. That trust me, he's making money out of this. Yeah, he's making money off of this. Trust me, somehow. I mean,
go back and look at my history.
I may get invited up to stately Southgate Manor this summer.
Oh yes, I heard your travels.
I'm traveling.
On the road again.
Yes. After duty, getting a flaming bag of Charlie Esser on your doorstep.
Yes, well, that's the advantage of having a fully vaccinated family. We can travel with impunity.
Nice mustache, Charlie.
Get that
Thank you, Rob.
But yeah, no, I'm interested in what comes out of Loki, but I just don't want to watch it.
They said it's going to be the biggest one yet. I mean, bigger than WandaVision, bigger than Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
I'm just waiting on She-Hulk. Y'all know that She-Hulk and Moon Knight. Those are the two things that I'm waiting on. I'm most excited for.
Yeah, well, it's all multiverse. So is this the thing that's going to maybe bring in Fantastic Four and X-Men?
I don't have any hopes for that. I think Marvel wants to probably do that in the next phase. I don't think they want to do it.
At least open the door. So it's if they want to bring
they're going to lay the breadcrumbs as they do, but I don't think we're going to get it by the end of. I don't think we're getting Fantastic Four and 4/4/24. That's all I'm saying.
Not by the end of Loki, because that's only 6 episodes. But it's they're going to open the door to the multiverse. So if they want to take anything from the Sony movies, the Fox movies, it's okay, we can do that.
Who wants?
It's actually going to be January 23rd, 2024. No, I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 2, 4.
Or December 3rd, 2024.
Oh,
yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know.
We wanted 4s.
Yeah, well, it's going to be.
It's 4/4/24 is a Thursday, so it's perfect.
All I know is, just look at all the hype any of the MCU stuff gets. When they announce X-Men or Fantastic Four joining the MCU, that's going to break the internet.
That's why I think they're going to have their own phase to themselves. That's just my personal feeling on that.
And, it's not like that's weird in comics either, just to have everybody be broken up into their own places. It's often the twines do not meet.
But yeah, it's getting pretty expansive, and my head hurts just thinking about it.
I know.
And yes,
I was gonna say, if somebody reads who doesn't read comics, I don't know how people jump in, because we're at 23 movies already.
Well, it doesn't even really matter if you read comics for the MCU. It's a bonus, but it doesn't really matter.
I know, but I'm saying 23 movies, 3 TV series so far.
yeah, but I don't know. I think most comics try to tell something of a self-contained story in their pages, where even if you don't know who everyone is, you do figure it out in their pages.
Oh, don't worry, you'll get a quick origin of floating guilty heads, no matter what. You're gonna get that.
You're gonna get something. I mean, it's and we'll talk about that when we get to our comics this week. But I do think that it's easy to jump into things. I think that they have always tried to make it easy to jump into things. Like, you get into a lot that's chaotic, and some books probably are not a good first book, but I think most of the books that get put out usually,
and it's cultural osmosis at this point for the major main characters. I mean, even if you've never picked up a Superman comic, I'm sure you've seen a movie or watched a TV show. He's had several. Oh, yeah. It's all the general premise. Same thing with Batman. Oh, his parents died, so he's a nutcase. Got it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Self-indulgent vigilante who could just be doing good. I got it. Getting back to the She-Hulk story that we were talking about. Is he going to be Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner? And then how are we going to get in the whole thing about why he's not the Hulk anymore? And was it because he had space radiation?
Space radiation.
I mean, he did take a big.
The gamma rays giveth, and the gamma rays taketh away.
Hey, he took a big blast from those Infinity Stones. It could be.
Well, it might be interesting if he's like, I was just the Hulk so long, and I never realized that I just sort of wore it out. I guess I don't know. I just stopped being angry.
So angry, yeah.
Or maybe they had to change him back to fix that arm.
Maybe.
Questions.
Easier to do surgery on Banner than the Hulk.
Yeah. Oh, and the only person that can give him a blood transfusion is his
cousin. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I get the blood for it, but then something wacky happens. And the blood
oh my god, I would love it if they played
way.
up like a wacky 80s comedy like that. Like, I would love it.
Just plasma, dog plasma, and then it's a very funny comedy bit from a long time ago where people get run over, and like the guy and his dog get run over, and they go to give him plasma, but they give him the wrong plasma, and then the guy acts like a dog, and the dog acts like a guy. But it all works out okay, because in the end, the man's wife and her dog get run over, and the exact same guy makes the same mistake. And then they're all happy, because now it's humans who act like dogs and dogs who act like humans.
I got enough of that over here without blood transfusion.
Because it was funny, you see? Because it was a wacky mix-up.
Oh, the 80s, the time of dead babies.
Well, that was probably like the 50s, but yeah. that was from a cartoon from many, many years ago. That was when I was a little kid. Whoa. And I already knew it was an old thing because it was referencing Ed Norton as a voice character who I did not know who it was at the time, except for the fact that he played that, his voice was in cartoons. Not played by what's his name? Art Carney, but by people doing the Art Carney Ed Norton voice, which is basically how cartoons got made. You couldn't actually get Art Carney back then to do the cartoon voice, but you would have someone do Art Carney's voice in the cartoon.
Yeah,
see, nowadays you just get the actual actors. Oh, do that character for the cartoon. They're like, yeah, I'd love to do that. But back then, Art Carney was like,
unless you're Robin Williams or Eddie Murphy, who don't want to do Disney sequels because they're terrible. Except for all the Aladdin sequels, they slap. Not gonna lie, every last Aladdin movie is great.
Well, that's why he eventually came back.
All right, I have a question for you, Scooby Doo fans. Did you see this? What is this Velma we're getting from Mindy Kaling?
Yeah.
She's Asian now, right? Is that what everybody was screaming about?
So
She's Asian, yes.
now I'm not quite. Is this a cartoon or a live action?
I believe it's live action, isn't it?
Yeah, we're doing another. We're back to live action again. Yeah.
And is Mindy Kaling playing Velma?
I didn't think. I thought
she was voicing
That
Velma.
was- She voiced
I heard she
Velma and
was-
Scoob, didn't she? Is that what you're talking about from Mindy Kaling?
I don't know, man.
Because this
That's
is
what I
a
don't
very
understand.
young lady that is it's not Mindy Kaling for
Okay.
the live action.
Okay, but it is okay. So that's what's going on. There's an actress who is playing Velma
In live
in
action.
the live action, who is of South Asian descent. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay. All you gotta
Yeah,
say
I
is
mean,
you
really,
can
what's
put
her
on some
name? It's like-
glasses and have some thick thighs and some thigh-high socks. Like, it ain't that hard. It ain't rocket
Yeah,
science.
I mean, really, I don't. I'm trying to remember Velma's last name, and I want to,
Dinkley or something like that.
yeah, Velma Dinkley. I don't know what ethnicity Dinkley's supposed to be. quite frankly.
Cartoon! Get over
Exactly.
yourself.
So, quite frankly, if you're going to tell me that,
I'm more upset that they didn't call Matthew Lillard back to do the voice of Scoob and Shaggy and Scoob. Like, I don't care about live action Scooby.
but that's the thing. It's like you're going to
They
tell me
had
that.
Michelle Gellar as Daphne. That is, and I love Sarah Michelle, but that was not a good role for her. And then Freddie Prinze is Freddie, and we're gonna get upset about this young lady. Come on, stop it. What's it really about? What's it really about?
Well, of course, that's what it's really about. Well, actually, yeah, you know what it's really about? There's no dog. How are you doing a Scooby Gang reboot, but don't have a talking dog? Or even a non-talking dog? I don't know.
No more CGI dogs. We're gonna get a Great Dane dog, and we're gonna do this.
Honestly, I would love if they got a well-trained Great Dane dog to just stand there and just do like. Look at the
Although
camera
Great
takes.
Danes are notoriously stubborn and don't make good show dogs. Just ask Marmaduke. Hey-o.
That dog never talked. They were all just high.
Well, no, it's just
Scooby
But
is
I would-
an alien, okay? He does talk. Know your freaking Scooby-Doo mythology, first of all, Philip.
Yeah. I would actually love to see them do a live action Scooby Doo where Scooby is just doing that little Pete thing from the Little Rascals where he just looks at the camera. It's like, can you believe this?
Oh wait, it might be animated, but it's going to be a not for young children animated, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm not quite sure. I'm reading all these
What
things.
does it matter?
Well, it does.
Unless
Well,
it's like the CGI live action thingy.
I mean, one thing to me, it's like I don't. My thing is, I'm like so confused by what the premise is. I don't have time to worry about Mindy Kaling. I mean, I like you tell me Mindy Kaling is playing Velma. I'm like, yeah, that sounds perfect. I can hear Mindy Kaling's
I
voice.
guess the Hispanic community might be upset because an original, not originally, but the last couple of times they had a Hispanic young lady doing the voice for Velma. I don't know. I gave up on Scooby-Doo a long time ago. Like, it's a mess. It's a mess. That fandom is a mess.
Well, I mean, it's a very complex lore. I mean, maybe they're going to be doing something off of the whole zombie apocalypse.
We've already done that twice.
They did that?
Yeah, they already did it twice.
Oh, okay.
In animated form, anyway. And actually, technically, you could kind of say in the second live-action movie. Like I said, it's a mess. I don't want to think about it.
I'll be honest. I do not keep up on the Scooby lore as much as I should.
I haven't for the last 5 or 6 years. Like I thought Scoob was gonna get me back in, but we all know how that turned into a pile of flaming dog poo. So
yeah, I mean, I will say I do enjoy. I don't
care. Just be a good voice actor. That's all I want.
Well, that's just good stories.
Mindy Kaling may be doing the voice.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm getting like these weird conflicting things about is she playing someone? Is she doing the voice of someone? Is there an actress playing this character? I don't think anything is settled yet, so I'm not at a point where I can get.
Okay, this is what I'm seeing is that it's a new live action HBO Max show. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird that I don't know what. 'Cause I thought it was going to be an adult animated, like a Venture Brothers kind of thing, which I'm cool with. Although we are getting a Venture Brothers movie, thank Thank goodness. Thank Doc.
Well,
Hammer.
because Rick and Morty just takes too long to make, so we're giving Venture Brothers another chance.
I'm sorry, that Rick and Morty is.
That's their bread and butter now.
I know.
It,
It sells. And trust me.
Unfortunately, it's changed. It's not what it.
When we talk about Hey Kids comics, yeah, I know why Rick and Morty sells. And it's funny. I'm not going to say it's not funny. I'm not going to say it's not well crafted. But is it the Venture
It's
Brothers?
overindulgent now. No, Venture Brothers is a certain. It's way more offbeat humor.
Venture
and it's
Brothers.
like you can't miss the point of don't be that guy. With Rick and Morty, everybody wants to be the guy, thus missing the point of the whole show.
Well, yeah.
Venture Brothers, you can't make that mistake.
You should not want to be anyone on Rick and Morty.
Least of all, Jerry.
Yeah. Hank and Dean kind of have their moments, though. I will say that. Dean wasn't.
Mr. Poopy Butthole did no wrong.
No, Mr. Poop. Well, he's Mr. Poopy Butthole. He is now and always has been our friend.
Poor Phil's just totally lost. He's like, are they just making stuff up now?
Yes. Okay, get us back on track, Philip.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I was looking at that Velma thing, and we're saying, yeah, there's going to be no Scooby Doo, no Mystery Machine, so it's like,
it's not Scooby Doo, then, buddy.
Yeah, why are you doing
Well, no, it's Velma. It's a Velma-centric show.
Well, to be fair, if Shaggy and Daphne and Scooby and Scrappy Doo can have a show of their own, Velma can have a show of her own. There, I said it.
Yeah, I think Velma would be fantastic.
But it should be called Jinkies. Okay, and it's like scientific investigations. The team's not holding her back because let's be honest, she was the glue that held that team together.
I will say this: I loved when they go back there was one. It was a scrappy episode, but we find like what all the other when it was just Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy, and like she's working for NASA and she's doing all this stuff, and you got to find out what everyone's been doing. And if
is that the one where they became a reporter and Fred wasn't really doing that well because Fred's Fred?
I can't exactly remember what Fred was doing because Fred's Fred. You know, whatever he was doing.
Well, he's rich.
being
drunk. He was. I'm not going to say anything bad about it because I don't remember. So I'm not going to say that they singled out Fred for any kind of horrible outcome. But I remember that. I think Daphne was probably doing something. But the only one I remember was Velma. Velma was working with NASA.
I vaguely remember the episode you're talking about because I have a dog named Scrappy. When I was young, I liked Scrappy, but when you get old, you hate him. It's just what you do.
You know what it is? Is people make you hate him by making bad Scrappies.
He's cousin Oliver.
That's what I'm going to say. Like Scrappy as his character, he was cute. He was his thing. I'm not going to say I like Scrappy. But, I personally prefer Dino Mutt and Blue Falcon. But, they didn't make enough of Dino Mutt and Blue Falcon shows. I'm that kind of freak.
Well, if we're going to go there, then I like Wendy and Marvin and their dog the most. We're going to do the variation. We're going to do the variation.
That was Wonder Mutt. Wonder Mutt.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he was
we're talking Wonder Mutt here. Come on, buddy. What else you got?
I love she brings it up. She's like, get it on track. All right. Do we want to do comics?
Yes, so many good comics this week.
Phil's Comics Corner.
Okay. Well, since there are so many good comics this week, what was a good comic that you enjoyed this week?
Well, I'll start off with my favorite indie this week from Aftershock. It's called Bunny Mask. Oh. Now stay with me. It's written by Paul Tobin, and the art is what pulled me in. It's Andrea Muddy. So if you know, you know. And it's a horror series. So and the first story is like about somebody being sealed in a cave, and it's like cavemen, and they release the cavemen, and that's where Bunny Mask comes from, and it's kind of like a zombie. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's very interesting if you're into like horror and zombies and crazy cave people.
Is it an anthology, or is it just an expanded horror line?
It's going to be all about Bunny Mask. So this is basically the origin story.
And what does the Bunny Mask do? Is it like the mask, or is it just the Bunny Mask is the mask in the background that's manipulating things?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. She just comes out of that cave with a bunny mask and all zombified.
Okay, so we got someone who was zombified with a bunny mask. And
very Ariana Grande Dangerous Woman era vibes. I think they were trying to get the book out during that time and capitalize on it, but it's still cute.
Is this a paper book or is this a digital book?
You can get it both ways.
Okay. You got it digital?
No.
I'm asking you to hold up a copy of the book in front of me so I can see what I'm looking for.
Yes, you can. Aftershock is very hard to find digital copies of Aftershock, so your best bet is to get a floppy.
Can you hold up the floppy so I know what to look for?
Do
you have it near you?
No, it's in my box already.
You gotta keep these things by you for the show, Lilith.
No. Listen, I read them, put them back in the bag, put them in the box. Sorry.
No.
Slow down. We need this for drops.
You need this stuff.
I have ADHD, so it's very easy for my good comics to get ruined. So I have to do my process.
Can't ruin a comic once you've read it, Lilith. That's my point. And
I don't crack spies. I'm very gentle.
Speaking of Aftershock, who is, not Spawn, by the way. We all love Aftershock here. Well, I don't know if Phil does, but Nuclear Family number 4.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I brought my book because I want people to say, hey, maybe you guys should like to buy this book, and this is what it looks like. So I can help out our good friends at Aftershock.
Google is free. Okay? And Phil will put it in the show notes. It's fine.
Yes.
So when last we left our Nuclear Family, as you may recall, they were pulled into a underground city. They had been pulled 10 years into the future after a nuclear attack. That all of their friends are in this world, but they don't remember them. But they're all 10 years older after a nuclear attack. And this is where we find out that actually what they're doing is they're doing human experimentation to keep a body alive at the point of death while it's dying of radiation poisoning. Because that was the thing. There was so much radiation, the soldiers couldn't march through it. They were all dying. So what if we just kept people alive even when they were already dead? That's the idea. And that's sort of where we're getting our zombie apocalypse angle that's going to be coming up in the next few issues, obviously. And then further through it, we realize that basically there's like levels in the society. Level 9 is the level you don't want to be in, just like heck. This guy was from level 9, which is why they're experimenting on him. The family runs out. And, of course, everyone thinks the family are communist spies because they simply showed up in the middle of a wasteland completely unharmed because they got pulled into the future. They escape their captors. They inject the general with the zombie formula. So I don't think that's going to come back to have any negative consequences. They make it back to their friend, like the one person who is like talking to them in this universe and not treating them like commie spies, who of course is from the 9th level. He takes them back to their place, and then in there is waiting the governor. Now I don't know if you can see that governor, but he looks a lot like Mitch McConnell. I don't know if that's intentional, but he comes to the father who was brought forward to the future, and he asks him, when you first showed up here, I asked you, are you a threat? And then this whole time they're like trying to say, no, we're not threats. We're just good, clean American people trying to make our way in this world. And we got pulled to the future and there's nuclear craziness. And the kid who they found, he wants to try, says, well, there might be something that might be able to get you back home. And then maybe you can prevent all this from happening. How? Who knows? But that's where we're at with this story.
Sounds like a plan. Have a good night.
It's exciting, it's fun, and it's Aftershock Comics. Not Spawn, but apparently both I and Lilith like their products. I want to help them sell my books by showing you the book so you can think about it and look at the pretty pictures. Lilith is like,
I like Google's for free. I mean, I paid for the copy. It's not like they sent it to me. I mean, they sent it to me.
Send Lilith your books. She will read them, tell people how great they are, and will show them on the screen.
Any comic company can send me free books. I'm on many shows. Send me books. I'll throw them up every night of the week.
See, you talk nice about it because it's a good story, but
we should probably ask more.
I've tried. They only send books to Wolf Hellfire.
Well, that's only.
Have you tried Aftershock?
I got a few of the independents.
I know Aftershock. Valiant might be a little more pliable. Just don't ask for Bloodshot.
I mean, if nothing else, they might send us the digitals. I mean, hey, we did get that digital of Black. What's the book we read?
Radiant Black,
which I love that book. I read it. It's on my pull list now. But they sent us that book. We talked it up. We liked that book. We talk about that book. We're
and
continuing.
More importantly,
to
we got to interview the person who wrote
exactly.
the book.
We are helping that book grow, and we were there at the beginning, and they took a risk on us. So all you other comic book companies learn from Radiant Black and their success, because my comic book store says they can't keep it on the shelves.
We love talking to independent creators.
I actually do.
I love indie books, quite frankly. They're fun.
Indie's where it's at for comic books right now. The big two, well, with the exception of like my favorite book this week is actually a DC book. It's DC Pride #1. All the stories were well written. The art was fantastic, well worth the $10. Surprised they didn't do the $14.99 route like they were thinking about. So proud of them for that. So I was the only one that picked it up. Okay, that's fine.
I didn't even know that was out this week, but I don't follow DC books that much, so.
Well, it was all over the front of my store, so I don't know.
Yeah, I actually only know about that because people got mad about Aquaman in it.
You mean Aqualad?
Well,
yeah, but it was called Aquaman.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It was him becoming an Aquaman. He wasn't an Aqualad anymore. Now he's an Aquaman.
What are you gonna do? People find anything to nitpick about. I thought it was perfectly fine, but I'm not from a marginalized community, so I'm not gonna tell people to be upset or not be upset.
Yeah.
Well, my guy didn't give me the heads up, although maybe he sold out, because I know at my store he said there's like a bunch of people who are buying books just to like
money back.
Thinking it's gonna go up in value. Because
idiots.
What's that horror? There's some kind of horror series out now. Is it House something?
Oh yeah, the one that Joe Hill writes. I totally.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
said
a DC book. Yeah.
Yeah, he said some guy came in and bought there's like 2 covers. The guy bought like 5 copies of cover A and 5 copies of cover B. Think it's going to go up in value.
Only if you get it autographed. Like
exactly.
Oh, maybe it's one. Here's what I'll say: those comic books only go up in value the next day on eBay, and I get the feeling there's like this very small window where you can sell any book for like $15 on eBay.
Oh yeah, Modern Comics. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it can come out that week, you put it on eBay, say $15. Some idiot's going to buy it. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, that book sold for $15 just this week on eBay. So the moral of the story is, kids, buy 2 of every comic, go to eBay, put one up for $15.
Kids, don't listen to Charlie Uster. He doesn't know how the eBay comic book economy works. It does not work like that. Your books will sit there for weeks. They will sit there for weeks. Don't do it. Especially if you're a new person, you're not doing like big estate sales, it's not going to work out for you. I'm just going to let you know. As a person who's sold on eBay since like forever, don't do it.
Okay. Then just buy Bitcoin or Dogecoin or one of those other coins that all the kids are talking about. Just buy coins.
Don't buy Bitcoin. No, actually, you can't even buy Dogecoin. Elon Musk ruined Dogecoin. So never mind on that.
Good warrior.
Well, since China got into cryptocurrency, we probably won't be having cryptocurrency. We're probably going to tank that one too. So don't buy cryptocurrency right now. Our government is petty. It's the only thing they can come together on is to say, you know what? Maybe we should give China some competition.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all a whole thing.
Gimme.
Philip, what was a book you read this week?
Well, I think you were chomping at the bit to talk it on Super Connectivity. Do you want to talk Iron Man #9?
Oh, Iron Man #9. Number 9. Now, and so this is kind of an interstitial book.
Yes.
So it jumps. It's not like within the context of the last book we read when they were going to Tattoo. This is like a little This is a side quest that Korvac is going on.
The last issue when Ben Riley was in it.
Well, she loves Ben Riley.
I know she does.
No, that's just a drop that was taken out of context.
I know, but we get this whole thing how Korvac is a coward. He betrayed his own people. He's basically
Wasn't this delayed?
I mean, maybe, I don't know. But it's got lovely artwork, so there's that. But yeah, we get this whole thing about him being basically a sellout to his own people for the Badoon. And they basically just call him you're just the worst, man. You sold out your own people just so you could have a slightly better place in our hierarchy when we conquer all of your people and enslave you all. Basically, just to work at the big house, you're just going to sell us all. You're going to sell out your own people. That's just dark, man. So even the Badoon don't respect him. And when he gets all sad about this and leaves his station and cries, that's when they say, well, you know what? We're going to make it so you can never leave your station again. And that's when they make him into Korvac. But that seems to be one of those things like, haha, now we will turn you into the computer, and that cannot possibly come back to bite us in the posterior.
How can you be so smart but yet so dumb? I don't get it. That's his downfall. Like, that's his character. It tracks, but
I don't know. Ask Dr. Doom.
Hey now, he might be a dropout.
You know why? Because he thought he was too smart to learn. It's never a good thing to be. See, Reed Richards, he's all about learning. All he wants to do is learn. He's just a guy who wants to watch the world learn.
I like last issue better with Patty Walker. I'm just saying.
Anything with Patsy Walker is better. But we get him tracking down Jim Hammond. I don't remember him being put into an Iron Man. I don't remember this story, but it's okay. I don't read every comic book.
Invader.
Yeah, he's now in an Iron Man suit. He's basically his head stuck in an Iron Man suit for reasons.
Tony Stark to make the world in his image.
Yeah, that's Tony Stark for you. But yeah, you get the whole story here, and it's a talky book. It's back and forth. It's good to read though.
But yeah,
because
the
it's
art
about him wanting a brother.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the art is great though. Cafu did a great job.
Oh no, the art is fantastic, and it's all about Korvac wanting to do something, but being totally all up in the power cosmic, and assembling and disassembling people, and this is the sad part is he does to Jim Hammond what the Badoon did to him, make him a slave.
Oh. Karma, well,
it's the idea that he's not good, and that's how he's not good, because he's not learning nothing. He's got his idea that this is what it's going to be, and if I have to, doesn't matter how awful I have to be to do it, I'm going to do it. And even when people I know are evil are doing the exact same things I did, I'm not going to question that. And that's why it's sad. But it was a good book to read. I'll give it that much.
You want to know what's sad? A book that has a super great premise, but the execution was kind of terrible. Red Sonja 1982.
Oh my goodness! Wait! Is this set in the film?
Yeah, it's set in 1982.
Ooh!
So here's the deal: premise. There's a mysterious killer android from the future that is actually like hunting her through time.
Arnold.
You only get so many image rights in this, please.
Exactly. So it's really weird. It's like, you have AI meets magic, and then of course set against the backdrop of Hollywood in 1982. If you know, you know. Mm-hmm. Chef's kiss of a time to be alive in East LA and Hollywood and Beverly Hills and all that. And the aesthetics are beautiful, but the story's trash. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Red Sonja 1982.
It's a one shot though. So
yeah.
At least they knew their limits. I think they were trying to feed on the Wonder Woman 1984, And then it's like, never follow what DC's doing, darling. What are you doing?
Well, yeah, and that
it was very much Wonder Woman 1984 vibes, though, like the aesthetics of it all. So,
see, I like the aesthetics of Wonder Woman 1984.
Like I said, I like the aesthetics, but the story's horrible. Don't try to be like DC.
It was kind of just like Wonder Woman 1984 then.
Except for we had a lot more perms, at least. Like, we all know the 80s was full of perms. Black people had perms. White people had perms. There were just perms bad perms everywhere.
You know. And I still say Wonder Woman 1984 was not as bad as everyone says.
Definitely better than Justice League Zack Snyder cut. Hashtag fight me. You can fight me on that if you want to.
I'm not going to argue that.
But that's a really low bar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing. It's like,
you ain't got to be Hermes Conrad to go under that bar.
and man, you know, and Zack Snyder's still saying, I don't know why they won't talk to me. We're number one in the UK again this week. And it's like, just, they're giving your show away for free.
By the way, Netflix is an idiot. I can't believe they're letting him build out an Army of the Dead universe before seeing how well that movie did. Everything is greenlit and shot and ready to go. Even an animated series. Netflix! I have stock in you. What are you doing?
See, that's where they get you. Don't buy stock. That's why you have a mattress. That's where money goes. Did you learn nothing from 1929?
Oh, trust me, I have some there too. But you gotta have fun with something sometime.
And we do hope the best for Netflix. And though, you know, sadly, you know, I hate to say it, but you know, Jeff Bezos just is the one.
Could you imagine being so rich that you have a breakup and you go to space to get away from your ex? Could you imagine having that kind of money? He beat Elon to it, okay? And he owns SpaceX. That just has to. Jeff Bezos is just out here being Lex Luthor. I'm sorry, that's just an extra Lex Luthor move.
You know what? Well, I'm just gonna say he's not even Lex Luthor. It's not like he's trying to do anything
that we know of. Just wait for it while he's up in space. Oh, actually, he's going home.
Oh,
I forgot he's going home.
A giant space laser.
But yeah, I'm so sorry for Red Sonja. Let's talk about a good book.
Okay. Well, I've got two left, unless Phil has a good. Phil, do you have a really good book? Because I have two good books.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But they're all very nerdy books. Okay. So I'm going to do my first good book, which is Conan the Barbarian. As always, a fantastic book from our good friends at Marvel. Yes, it is still big two, but it's, you know, the better of the big two. And
it's off the beaten path, at least.
You know, what I will say about Conan is, you know, what I love about Conan is Conan gives exactly this many figs about anything. He just wants his gold. I just want my money. That's all I want.
Gotta respect it.
You got it, because he comes to the lost, you know, the ancient city. It's just like, you know, it's in the Asian area and the spice roads, yada yada yada. It's the Hyborian age. It was a different time. This is like just after Lemuria sinks. You know, I recently learned that it's called Lemuria because lemurs live there. That was like the whole reason why they came up with this idea of Lemuria. Is they said, well, there must have been a continent in between Madagascar and Africa, and that's how lemurs got there. And that's why it's called Lemuria. But anyway, you know, he meets all the hoi polloi there, you know, the captain of the king's army and all that kind of stuff. And his guide takes him to like the classic sword master who teaches them, you know, cool swordcraft, and realizes that, you know, Conan can fight, you know, doesn't know all the ceremony, but they know they have to, Conan has to impress everyone by how much they can clean up the savage, you know, so they take him, they bathe him, they give him fine robes, do his hair nice, gets his hair did.
Rude. Let the man be.
Well, you know, what the whole thing is we got the whole God Emperor storyline here. So, and he just wants to eat his dim sum, quite frankly. He's like, whoa, they got extra. What, it's all you can eat? Great. I have not yet had all I can eat. But then the Emperor shows up, and he asks for, because there is a moment in here, by the way, we had that whole thing with Knight's Tooth, where he gives Knight's Tooth to the captain of the fifth circle of the King's Guard or whatever it is. And there's this whole thing about the God Emperor not being with people and not being seen by people because he has to be because he's the God Emperor, as you do. But he goes and he sits with Conan, and Conan's like, "Yeah, my gods don't bow. I don't know, man. That's not something we do. If that's your thing, that's cool." But then it's like everything's silent, and this is clearly a hand ninja because he makes no noise, and all noise has been sucked from the room. Even Conan's own noise, he can't hear anything. So, but of course, Conan still kills the guy because he's Conan, and that's what he does. But then we realize that after he kills the ninja dude, that crumbles to dust just like a proper hand assassin. But then we realize that the general is actually going to kill the emperor and blame Conan, the outsider, did it clearly.
Duh.
Yeah.
If you weren't getting 1001 Arabian Night vibes, I don't know what to tell you.
But no, I do love Conan the Barbarian. I'm so glad he's back with Marvel. I don't know what the rights are on any of this nonsense because I know this stuff is now public domain.
If they had proper like rights, they'd be chomping at the bit to make a new movie because they wanted John Carter to be so bad, to be a thing so bad. This is like the perfect replacement. So
yeah, John Carter has his problems, as was highlighted in Lovecraft Country.
Well,
but I'll tell you something. That's one thing because I watch a lot of old cowboy shows, and I'm starting to realize, dude. It's like always, well, you were a Southern boy, right? It's like, so, it's like, oh my gosh, that's kind of, even the guys are like, yeah, I don't like to talk about that because war is heck. And I was sort of there because I was fighting in a war because there was a war. Like the politics of it, that really was not something I thought about, but but they always have that general like, well, we're going to reestablish. Old cowboy shows got really political in the 60s for some reason. I don't know why.
Could never figure it out.
So, okay, Phil. Do you have something you want to... Because I got one more great comic to talk.
Come on, pull it out for DC, Phil, or Spider-Man. Whatever you want.
Well, what do you want? Little Batman or Spider-Man?
Let's do Spider-Man. Batman don't need our money.
Okay.
That's Spider-Man?
All right. Amazing Spider-Man 68 or legacy numbering 869.
I was going to say thank you. Legacy numbering on this one only.
And next issue will be 69. Yes.
Double 69.
So I don't think I shouted it out on the podcast, but I knew exactly how Ned Leeds was resurrected. I knew it. He pulled the Norman Osborn. Right before I died, I took some goblin formula, and that gave me a healing factor.
Healing factors are the worst thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask Wolverine.
So before the Foreigner's men killed him, he took some goblin formula, then he crawled his way out of his own grave. And then what is this? He's like, I can't tell you. Somebody helped me, but I can't say who. So is that Kindred?
Yes, of course.
Or is he Kindred?
He's not
Kindred. Wait. No, we don't. We won't go into the whole the evil that men do storyline, but yeah. So this is not the Ned Leeds clone. This is actual first-person original Ned Leeds.
That's what he's telling. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Anything to get away from
Hopped
that
up on the goblin formula.
Because that's how they brought Norman Osborn back from the dead in the 90s. He's like, oh yeah, that goblin formula. I could take a glide.
And then I spent a couple of decades in Switzerland with amnesia.
Dang, that amnesia.
I don't think he even had amnesia. He was just
I know.
Not in Europe, yeah. But yeah, man, he was guzzling that goblin formula.
Oh, drinking the goblin formula.
Well, the gang's out here. Flash is back. He's back. The gang's out here.
Did you see that advertisement, Charlie? After I guess for when
he saw it on the back of his Conan book, right? Extreme Carnage was on the back of Conan, right?
Oh yeah. What? Oh, is that? Oh my gosh! I didn't even realize.
I guess he didn't.
I didn't realize my old Flashy Thompson in the anti-venom suit was back.
Because Eddie Brock's busy being king or god or something.
Well, we're gonna have to stop that nonsense. Yeah.
Oh my!
Roided up junkie.
Oh my lord! The Charlie Esser. Do not read Spider-Man Spider Shadow #3 or the whole series. Don't read it, Charlie Esser.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's disappointing.
Some
Well,
It'll
I wasn't
trigger
going
you.
to, but
well,
It
someone,
almost triggered me.
one of your favorites gets killed. Don't.
oh well, it's an alternate timeline. I mean, Doc Ock
It's a
gets
comic.
killed.
They'll be back. Look at Lee.
Well, and to be fair, Doc Ock dies all the time. Come on.
Yeah. He gets killed by Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock steals his arms.
Okay, well, he'll build new ones. It's
an alternate reality too.
yeah, and like I said, it's not the first time the guy has died.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah.
death by Eddie. Oh, that's embarrassing.
It is
Wow.
embarrassing, but embarrassing deaths happen too.
Well, again, it's like what if Spider-Man got controlled by the symbiote instead of getting rid of it? And finally, at the end of this one, with the help of J. Jonah Jameson, he frees himself from the symbiote. But it finds a new home with the
Eddie
Fantastic Four. No, Fantastic Four.
That's not going to end well.
Oh, it possesses the Fantastic Four?
Look, it's on Mr. Fantastic right now.
Oh. Gee, what will the symbiote do with being associated with one of its members who is made of fire, and you're weak to fire venom? It's like,
We never
it's
said
like
the symbiote was the brightest. I mean, he loves Eddie, for goodness sake. So
It found the kindred spirit in Eddie Brock. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Movie too, the first movie, like the symbiote was like the underachiever of its race or something.
It's like he's not that good at his job.
He just wanted to sit around eating poodles, had the munchies.
I can relate.
He was the Shaggy of the symbiotes. Okay.
All right, let him rip, Charlie Esser.
Howard Chickens, hey kids, comics. Would you like to read a mythologized version of the 1950s comic book world with all the infighting and difficulties that a group of hard-bitten comics creators had to go through the rise and fall of superheroes, the rise and fall of gag comics like Mad Magazine, and the return of horror and crime, and how do you keep comics going when nobody's reading them? This is the book for you. Honestly, Howard Chaykin is such a great artist and writer. You gotta love this work that this guy's putting together here. And the guy is like 273 years old, by the way. This is all like first-person narrative from when, when I worked in the comics in the 40s, this is what happened. And when I worked in comics in the 50s, this is what happened. Wait, I'll tell you what happened in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and here's what's going on right now in the 2020s. Now that gigantic global corporations own comic books.
Go back and look at my.
Wait for it, man, because Howard Chaykin was there for it all. Man is a myth, a legend, and thank God he's still with us.
Thank God he wrote it all down.
I'll say no, and that's what's cool about this is that nobody is anybody in this. It's not like and then Stan Lee said, and then this guy. No, it's like literally, it's all a bunch of fake people and fake stories, and it's YC comics.
Me?
But man, I mean, I don't know. Unless you know of an editor who actually shot himself in the 1950s.
Well, we wouldn't be able to Google that, but
yeah, but and you've got the 3 comic book nerds whose story we're also following as a parallel story, which is just so much fun.
3 comic book nerds, you say?
I can relate.
Well, technically, there's 5 because then there's a next generation of comic book nerds that we also
okay, so Luca and Tristan, gotcha.
Fight me.
But there's so many great things. We even get a nice little with Stan, Chris, and Tony Kramer, 2 of our littler comic book nerds here, going to their first con and doing the costume contest. But of course, the lady in the Athena X, which is our Wonder Woman character, costume wins, and clearly, her mom bought the Athena X costume pattern, or maybe she bought the pattern and made the costume properly from the pattern, licensed by YC Comics, because when superheroes were coming back, YC said, we've got the best ones, Midnighter, Powerhouse, and Athena X, the ones all the kids want. So honestly, it is so much fun. It's a lot of swearing, a lot of 1950s racism, which is always fun.
What comic book company is that?
This is by the good folks at Image. Remember Image Comics, kids?
Spawn. That's all I know. Sorry.
No, they had a lot. There was actually that was Malibu. I was getting Malibu and Image mixed up, but yeah, but Image, they're still making comics, and Howard Chaykin is delivering month after month with this, and I am loving it. I cannot wait to read more. I want to go back and get the first volume, which is the golden age of comics, quote unquote. So I got to pick that up, and I really hope we make it to the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And when these three kids, the fans, are going to take over, because one of these guys is Jim Shooter. You know it, man. Because you even see them organizing field trips to YC Comics, and yeah, there's stuff happening, man, and it will be glorious, just like Loki.
I got to track down Jim Shooter because there's an episode 350 of a certain podcast coming up in a few weeks.
Okay.
Fingers crossed you get that, buddy. I'd love that for you too.
I wouldn't know what to say, but
oh, I find that hard to believe.
They say never meet your heroes, and
I've done it a couple times. It's varying degrees of success and failure. It's a 50-50.
What it is I loved his work with Marvel. I don't know if I could speak contemporaneously about what he's done since Marvel. That's my problem.
Marvel. That's right.
He's a guy. He loves to relive his glory days. That's how that works.
And I really feel, and I also don't want to get into any awkward or uncomfortable spots because I know he left under a cloud. But to me, it's you know what? Nobody likes the guy who says, no, we have to do it this way because this is how it works. No one wants to listen to the guy that says, there's a way that things work and you tell a story this way. And people who are creative no, I want to tell stories my way. It's well, you're probably going to wind up telling it this way because you're a good writer. And maybe my criticism isn't for you, John Byrne.
Oh,
that's the thing. It's maybe when I tell people this is what you need to do, I'm not talking to you because you know what to do because you're John Byrne and you really are just as much of a comic book nerd as me. But, then they might get into that thing, well, no, I say Superman cuts his beard this way. You say he cuts his beard that way. And that's where they got in that fight, which is why the other guy went to DC. But, honestly, those two, deep lore nerds fighting, it's like Clash of the Titans. And I can imagine the fallout that no doubt came from it. I'm going to do what I want to do.
On that note,
Little Hellfire is over. Anyway, yes. All right, kids, send us your thoughts on the latest comics, TV, movies. Hey, by the time we reconvene, we'll have a second episode of Loki. Let us know what you think. The kids love it. Maybe Little Hellfire, but the rest of the kids love it.
Will we see Dr. Zero?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, right after Mephisto. Anyway,
Dr. Zero confirmed.
If they show another pair of red shoes, Mephisto confirmed.
They mentioned the word devil in the first episode, so of course everyone was Mephisto. Anyway, no, he's in Heroes Reborn. Anyway, kids, so yeah, send your thoughts. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Capes and Lunatics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find links to all of the various social medias for all of the shows, links to this YouTube channel, links to the Patreon, more and more stuff coming there. links to merchandise.
Stay hydrated.
That's right. Links to everything all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And just remember, go check out all things Southgate Media Group. Go check out southgatemediagroup.com. Go check out the Southgate Media Group Patreon. Not only is there a bunch of free content there from all the shows on the network, but there's also paid stuff. As Lil likes to say, you get Rob on the free stuff. You want a better Southgate, you got to pay for it. All right, and you can also help support the network. Go pick up Pod Life, the book, now in digital and paperback. And you can get that on Amazon. I mean, get anything on Amazon, because remember, kids, Father's Day is coming up. So remember your fathers. Use the link to buy your father a nice gift.
Luca.
Luca, Tristan.
Their
So
gift is their love. And they say,
I
Daddy,
definitely
buy
can't-
whatever
I definitely
you
can't
want
be a
with your
parent.
money.
I can't play
Definitely could be a parent.
I can't play with no love. Anyway, yeah, so use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and that fancy man, 6 Degrees of Robert Southgate, Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain. So says Master Doom. Please kick me in the pants. Why did your eye drift over to my box? Mark my words.
All the great quotes. All right, Lil.
If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, live tweeting Legends of Tomorrow on Sunday when I remember and am sober enough to do so. Find me on Instagram, not making content, at Lilith Hellfire 69. On TikTok, maybe possibly making content in between my comments, also at Lilith Hellfire 69. How hard is it? I don't know. How hard is it? Shut up and just lay there.
Charlie Esser.
Well, you can always write to me that old-fashioned email way the way our mothers and fathers once did at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And of course, follow me out of the Twitter as I live tweet things that I feel like Legends of Tomorrow, because I still think it's cool when I remember that it's on, because it's not always on and I forget, and then it is on and I forget again. And Charlie Essa, that's CharlieEssesscr. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
Thank you, Miles, and thank you, Tristan.
All right, kids. Come back in 1 week for more fun. But until then, we have been your Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics.
Yeah, I want to play like a 6 Degrees of Rob Southgate game where we try to figure out how many celebrities try to throw themselves in the bathroom.
We haven't heard all the stories though, so we
I
don't
know. We'll have to do a couple of special movies. Be like, how many celebrities can you form against with connect to Rob Southgate? You know Arnold Schwarzenegger. How many tried to throw himself in front of him at a column?
Well, then you just go down the list of people Molly's interviewed.
Oh, true.